Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 6 of not the EQ show. It's the CJ show now. And if you're wondering why this change from EQ to the CJ show, well, you gotta watch this video right here. And just I'll tell you about it in gist. So there has been some changes in realizations and perceptions that have happened over the course of the last 1 month, but it took effect in the last week. And now it's showing not just in this show but across platforms, across wherever. If you see me, if you find me, if you're new here, go check out the bios. Everything's changed, you'll get a gist of it, but watching this video will help you even more. So yeah, it's called the CJ show now. I'm sorry, CJ stands for Chirag Joshi. I know it's a little bit narcissistic, but I can't help it. I wanted something with 2 syllables. I mean, like 2 words, 2 letters actually, 2 letters. And EQ, the only substitute I found was my own name, so I had to do like a plugin. Plus, the shift has been from EQ to like a mix between a purebred community, which is the driven differently community, which is you guys and me, and my personal journey and my personal life as such. So there's been some interesting changes. I hope you go check out all the pages and know more about it, or just hit me up. I'll let you know about it in person. So with that being said, let's start. Prasanya, new home, new backgrounds, lighting is hopefully good. Yep, a lot of new things today. What's new for me? Does the video work?
Yeah, I think it does.
It does?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, got this one. Okay, awesome. So in this post, as you can see, there is the logo of Rimac, which is a Croatian-based company. It was started by this guy called Mate Rimac. Pretty young guy, started a company very young, and now it's one of the most sought after electric hypercar companies, and they make some crazy EV technologies and actually supply it to other bigger companies like Koenigsegg or Porsche, or even Pininfarina, which is owned by Mahindra. So yeah, that's the logo of Rimac. Behind you can see there's a little logo sneaking, in, which is the Porsche logo. So what we try to highlight here, what the story behind this whole thing is that Porsche has secretly, taken a stake in the company of about 10%. I think probably a year or two back, and now they recently, increased their stake to 15% overall. So this is a strategic move that Porsche has done because with the launch of their Porsche Taycan, which is their EV version, they're starting to notice and not just bank on the EV wave on their own company, but also on companies that they feel have more potential. And this partnership between new and old works great. So all I think a lot of these bigger companies are doing this, very similar thing, and there's a pattern to be noticed even in India as well as abroad. Just like how Porsche has bought a stake in a purebred EV company, which is Rimac, here in India, Hero Motocorp has bought a stake in Ather. TVS has bought a stake in, I think, Ultraviolet, right? So we're seeing similar patterns of bigger companies, buying stakes into purebred EV companies in which they see potential, and probably can get their, EV technology from there as well, so that by the time they come out with their full-blown versions, which is going to take time because of their size and all of that, they would have had a decent understanding of the space through these startups. So I think it's a pretty smart move, and this was what we highlighted through this here GIF. I'd say it's a GIF that just goes back and forth. Not sure if it's the best representation, but yeah, we wanted to show that Porsche has increased their slice of pie in Rimac. Yeah.
This is pretty similar. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, this is pretty similar actually. You know what? Yeah. So again, this again involves Rimac. So again, this is a small animation in which Rimac comes to the foreground, and it has the classic, very iconic Intel audio branding there. with Rimac inside written. So what we wanted to highlight there was that, as I said, Rimac as a company has shown its merit beyond its sort of years of existence. It's now at a stage where it's providing its EV technology to other bigger companies. So in a way, because of the past few deals and partnerships they've done with bigger companies, again like Koenigsegg and Pininfarina and many other companies. So what's happening is a lot of these bigger companies are using the tech that Rimac creates to build in their own cars. So in a way, what Rimac is becoming is sort of like Intel Inside. They're providing all the hardcore technology just so that people can build on it and build their versions of it. So we found it very interesting that something like this is happening. And honestly, personally, I feel that this is an amazing place to be, like just be EV tech providers to others, and that way you don't just need to bank on on the sales of your own vehicle, because your components and your technology is there in multiple cars. So and I mean, that's been proven by Intel. It's a great business model, works crazy. All of these chip manufacturers, Qualcomm's, all of these guys, right, they're doing good. So I sort of I related Remax, all of these deals and how they're partnering up with companies to what Intel has done in the past in the tech industry. So it's very similar, and that's the reason we wanted to sort of portray it that way. And plus, once because you hear this, you're bound to sort of look at, okay, what exactly are they trying to talk about? So it establishes familiarity right then and there, and urges people to hopefully look at the description and know about it. That's what we try to do. We try to add as many creative elements to whatever we're trying to represent and get people talking. Hopefully, this was one of those posts. I'm actually pretty proud of how it came out, because once you just hear that audio branding, it's great. It's great to hear that. So those are the two posts for today. Today, for question segment, I'm going to do something different. Today is 10th of November, right? Today is the 10th of November, I guess. Yeah. So today is the 10th of November. Yesterday was 9th of November, and I hope all of you know I mean, like in the scope of our country, there's something landmark that happened yesterday. The Supreme Court verdict came out for the much awaited Ayodhya case, which was fought between these two sects of Hindus and Muslims, who should there be a temple built or should there be a mosque built. This was just the talk of the country for the last 70 years. This case has been running. Do you know this? This case has been running. This case was filed in 1949, just 2 years after our independence, and it's been running ever since, right? But apparently, the issue was present apparently in the 18 late 1800s. So it's been like 132 years of this whole cycle of people raising an issue over the Babri Masjid and all of that stuff. 1949, the case gets registered. Things happen. 1992, they break the mosque as such, and since then we've just been waiting and waiting and waiting for a verdict. And now finally the verdict's out. Verdict was out yesterday. And honestly, here's my take over it. I felt, for all of the things that happen in a country, of course, there's a lot of stuff that can be done better. But for yesterday's whole thing, here's my honest sort of takeaway from it, okay? And no, this is just not my random takeaway on it. It's leading somewhere, and I believe it leads to a good place. So the case, this whole topic has been the agenda of this country for since our independence. You can just tell it, right? And the lives of so many people have been consumed in it. Like just like countless people have dedicated their lives, time, energy. The nation's resources have gone into all of this stuff, right? Now finally, it's done, right? So all of these people who've been dedicated towards this cause for all this while are suddenly, so we suddenly have a huge pool of people who have the time and the energy and the resources available. You could almost call it an extra pool of resources and people available with their time and energy. So, and on the other hand, we have a greater cause towards to work towards, which is moving the country towards sustainable ways of mobility, sustainable ways of energy consumption. Just moving the country towards being a sustainable leader in the world, because it's not just about positioning yourself as a global leader, but it's also about it being necessary, right? That's the reason this is happening. It's necessary to take action now. So I think with this whole thing that happened yesterday, with so many people now finally freed from this whole a whole agenda of like I don't know how many years and decades together. Now finally, if even 5 to 10 percent of these guys are the kind of people who are like, it's done. Now we can finally concentrate on something we've always wanted. And hopefully, what they always wanted was to move the nation towards, being a sustainable nation in that way. So this could be the single biggest reason why India could position itself or could accelerate its journey towards being a sustainable nation in all in all the aspects. So that was my big takeaway from this whole thing. It wasn't about who won, who lost. It wasn't about what happened. I think the biggest takeaway is that so many people who are involved in the case are now free. They have those times and resources, and if they put those things towards a cause that really matters, which is higher than all of us, it's about humanity, then I think it's going to serve the nation very well, and we can become. I hope we become, the leaders and showing the world how it should be done. So that's my sort of big takeaway from it, and I really wanted to voice it as to you guys in this whole thing, and yeah, just wanted, and also like the whole. I was just watching the news and I was just seeing how people were reacting to it. There was a lot of preconceived notions and a lot of it even in my head as to how it's going to happen. Oh, people are going to fight or whatever. There's so much negativity that's drilled into our heads. But absolutely nothing like that happened. Like nothing. I just found it so nice that the way the Supreme Court gave the judgment, the way people took it, the way both the sectors took it, is just, and it almost felt like people wanted the result to, like, people cared more of the verdict being given than what the verdict was, because finally you get to be done with all of this, right? You want to concentrate on more things. We've been spending our lives and energy and all of this stuff for so long. So I think that was more of the, I could see it in the news anchors, like all of these guys, like, it was very, for me, it was a very positive sentiment, a positive indication of how our country is moving ahead. And hopefully, as I said, my hopes are that all of these people who are now freed from this whole case can, and all of the people involved can now spend their lives doing something that they really wanted. And hopefully what they really wanted was to move the country towards sustainable ways of living altogether. So yeah, that's my sort of big takeaway. Hope that makes sense. So I just wanted to voice it here. Yeah, that's the video for this episode 6 comes to an end. I hope you accept this new change in the name and a new change all over that's happened throughout the channels. You'll get to know more of it. I request you to watch that video. You'll get to know why I did this. Things have become a lot more personal. Things have become a lot more interesting and exciting for me. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe and get your friends and get them to watch this. And we're going to have some crazy fun going ahead. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a good day.